Happy Wednesday. Happy Mind Your Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing great. Have you all heard the saying? I'm pretty sure most of you all have heard the saying, the bark is bigger than the bite. So this week I'm going to talk about anticipation, and that turns in or can lead into fear. So I had a broke a tooth some months ago, just before all this corona stuff hit, that I needed to get fixed. And with everything that was going on, of course, you couldn't go to the dentist or didn't need to go to the dentist. A lot of them were closed for a while. And then at a certain point, I just didn't want to go to the dentist even when they reopened. But several weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, I went to get the tooth fixed. I worked up my nerve, got myself together, and I went to get the tooth fixed. And I had to get a crown. So now I really don't have much of a point of reference. Thankfully, I've never really had to have much of any dental surgeries or anything on my teeth. So I had no point of reference as to what to even anticipate going for this process to getting the crown put on my tooth. So I go and, they have to deaden the gum and get around stuff. Now, I'm not fearful of the dentist by any means, but if I had to make a choice, I would choose not to have dental work. But so it wasn't that it was a scary thing and like that, but it was what the pain was going to be. If it was going to be really painful, like I said, I didn't have a point of reference for it. So, they had to clean out the tooth, make the shape, the mold of the permanent crown that they would have to put on. This was a back tooth, this back tooth at the top. And so it probably took maybe about 45 minutes. The whole process took maybe about 45 minutes to an hour. And afterwards, they like, take some Tylenol and, if you have any pain or once the numbness wears off, if you're in pain, take Tylenol. So after I had the work done, I was fine. I felt okay. The next day, actually the next 4 to 5 days, I was in so much pain. And I couldn't really tell if it was my sinuses or my tooth, but it felt like a really bad toothache. But I guess since all of that's up there together and him doing the drilling and the work, it just exacerbated, the sinus issues that I already had. So I was in a lot of pain for like 4 or 5 days. And then it just stopped. Like, okay. So that was a temporary that they did. But they had to do a lot of work to prepare to put the temporary on to prepare for the permanent crown, right? And any of you that have had dental work or know what I'm talking about, just bear with me. Okay. So, of course, you wear the temporary. They have to make the mold, I guess, for the permanent one. It takes a couple of weeks. So they scheduled my appointment to come back to get the permanent one in. I'm like, okay. So when that one came around, that appointment came around, I was like, I don't know if I want to go right now, because I was in pain for like 4 or 5 days after I had the last one. So I was a little antsy. Like, I don't know. So the day before my appointment, I called to reschedule. I'm like, I don't want to do this week. I got some other stuff I need to work on. If I'm going to have to be in pain again for that many days, I don't want to do it this week. Let me do it next week. So I called and I rescheduled my appointment to the following week. Same thing happened the following week. I was like, okay, still a little antsy, not really wanting to be in pain again like I was before. But I'm like, okay, let me go ahead, go in, get this done and get it over with. So gave him a big girl pep talk, went in. Again, I had no point of reference as to what's going to happen on this second visit for the permanent one. The only thing in my mind was my last visit, which was painful, and I was in pain for 4 to 5 days. So in my mind, that's what I'm anticipating. Being in pain, y'all going to have to deaden it again, do all of this stuff or whatever. So I was preparing myself for that. I was in anticipation for what I had experienced 3 weeks prior. Get there. She goes through, the procedures, rinse your mouth. And so she gets to a point where she takes the temporary off, cleans the tooth, fits the permanent one and makes sure it fits, does all these other things. She doesn't even deaden it or any of that. So I'm thinking, she's like, oh, all right, that's it. Just wait for the dentist to come in and check it. That's all. Now, in my mind, I had prepared myself for what happened on my last visit, right? Because I had no point of reference. But so the anticipation of what was to come was far worse than what this actual visit was. How many times? But how many times do we do that just with a lot of things? We do it when we're thinking about changing jobs, going back to school, starting a business, starting something new, a new project, a new position. We get the anticipation and the sometimes fear that comes along with that is so far greater than what it actually is. And we have to push ourselves past that and suck it up, because you don't know if it's really going to be as extreme or as bad as what you think it is, especially if you have no point of reference, which I had no point of reference. And so like me, some of you are overthinkers and you think of every single scenario possible prior to doing something. Some may say you procrastinate. Whatever, I say overthink. But you get caught up in all of these different scenarios. And then when you actually be like, okay, I'm going to do it. Get it done. Here we go. And you be like, wow, I should have done this such a long time ago. So long ago. Why did I wait so long? Why did I make this so much bigger than what it was? When all you needed to do was start. Take that step, put it in motion, and you will be amazed at what that one single act can do. The anticipation is, like I said, it started at the beginning. The bark is so much louder than the actual bite. And that's even if you even get bit. Start. Don't get stuck in the anticipation and the thoughts of what it is that you're thinking or trying or want to do or should have done. Go. Just take that first step. And so much will start to unfold as you do that. Trust it. Don't get stuck in the anticipation of a thing, especially if you don't have a point of reference as to what it will actually be. And sometimes, even if it's close to what you think, it's still not going to be as bad as being stuck with not having done it. Guys, thank you for listening to me this week. I hope you all stay well, stay safe, be great, do great. And if no one has told you that they love you today, I love you, I love you, I love you.